Accommodations I had to have made for me since I'm legally blind going to public school.
Let's talk about it. I remember when I was like 3 years old, they started sending someone to the house, and the person would teach me how to read Braille. She also worked with me on speech therapy as well because I was behind in speech back then. But how she started coming to the house in the first place is because my mom had me in a program called Babies Can't Wait, and they help babies who have disabilities start to develop like on a normal level that the regular kids who don't have a disability would start developing on, if that makes sense. I hope I said that right. You age out of the program once you turn 3 years old, and the program was able to let the school system know that I would be coming to school shortly, and they were able to provide me with some extra resources such as the speech therapist coming to my house and teaching me Braille as well. Now, I didn't know how to read Braille completely by the time I started school, of course, because I was still a kid. But once I did start school, they created this thing for me called an IEP. I don't know what an IEP is. Like, I don't know what it really stands for. But if I had to guess, I would say it mean like individual education program or something like that. Now, an IEP is done once a year, and it is filled with accommodations that a person with a disability may need. So my IEP had things like I need to sit in the front of the classroom. I need to have extra time on test. I was able to wear my shades in class because I'm light sensitive. I also had a paraprofessional, and what my paraprofessional would do for me is she would read the board for me because I couldn't see it. She would always make sure I had my materials that I needed in an accessible form, such as Braille, because I didn't read print. I didn't start reading print until I was like in the 6th grade, but that's a whole different video. Paraprofessional was also in charge of teaching me more hands-on ways to do stuff because the teachers could just show the kids who could see, because I was still like in a regular class, but like I wasn't in the class where the kids like, I don't know how to say this without sounding like rude, but you know the kids who like make the noises and like bang their heads and do stuff like that. I wasn't in the class like that. I was in the class with regular kids that was like my same age. Only difference is I'm legally blind. Now, nothing was never wrong with my brain just because something is wrong with my eyes. So I was able to perform on a normal academic level just like they were able to perform. I just needed accommodations to make sure that that was successful. I also had a teacher who was called a VI, which is a visually impaired teacher, like a teacher that teaches the visually impaired. So like I told y'all, I learned a little Braille before I went to school, but I didn't know it fully. So her job was to come and teach me Braille and teach me how to read Braille and math. She would also teach me how to use different tools that came out for the blind. Like they had note takers, which is, I don't even know how to describe it to y'all for real. It's basically a machine that the blind people use to take notes on, but it has like a Braille display, so I was able to read my notes in class instead of having to use the Brailler all the time to type out my notes. My parapro always had to know like the lessons that the teacher would teach in advance, because she had to go to this machine called a embosser, which is basically like a printer, but instead of printing out print, it prints out Braille. So she had to always make sure I had that in class. That's basically what it was like growing up, going to school, being legally blind as far as accommodations. If y'all have any other questions, please put it in the comment section. And like always, thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Until next time, bye y'all, stay blessed and safe.